tissues, being composed of scores of elements, compounds, and strange chemical bodies, which function is not fully understood, but all of which have to do with the mystery of life. For life is in the blood. Once the blood fails to reach the cells and membranes of the body, they promptly die. And no man ever dies until the blood stops circulating. If you doubt what I'm saying, if there are persons when they think that they may have acquired immune deficiency syndrome, better known as AIDS, the doctor extracts blood from the patient to determine whether or not there is acquired immune deficiency syndrome. If in some states you want to get married, before marriage they take blood from you to determine whether or not you have syphilis, gonorrhea, herpes, hepatitis C, or any other kind of social disease. If there is an erratic behavior in your thyroid, they take blood from the body to see if there is and why there is an erratic behavior in the thyroid. Like in the case of Supreme Court jurist Rehnquist, who now has cancer of the thyroid. But in order for them to know that, blood had to be taken from the supreme jurist to determine whether or not he had cancer or not. For men, if there's a question about your prostate, there is something that is called prostate-specific antigen, better known as PSA. The doctor takes that blood to determine how much antigen has accumulated in the prostate. If there is a question about your diabetes, the doctor takes blood from the patient to determine how much sugar there is in the body. It's in the blood because the blood has touched every cell. The blood has touched every organ. The blood has moved through the entire part of the body. When there is a question about paternity, that is whether a child belongs to a certain man or father, the doctor extracts the blood from the child to see if there is a match. And it's called deoxyribonucleic acid test. In the deoxyribonucleic acid test, better known as DNA, they find out whether or not you are the father of that child. Just if you want to know about the power of DNA, ask the man down in Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania, just about 3 weeks ago. A black man who served 19 years in the penitentiary, accused of raping somebody that he had not raped. 19 years in the cell, 19 years of his precious life taken away from him. But then there were some inquisitors, people in the legal profession, and they got some physicians and they said, let's look at the semen and let's analyze it and apply to it deoxyribonucleic acid test, and let us find out whether or not this is in fact the man who admitted or put that seed out there on that woman. Don't you know they looked at that test and they found out that that man had never raped that woman. 19 years. He was freed after 19 years. Brothers and sisters, there's power in the blood. Let me talk to you for just a little while. In the state of Virginia, there's a family in the state of Virginia that is called the Hemmings family. The Hemmings family in Charlottesville, Virginia, they say that they are descendants of Thomas Jefferson, the third president of these United States. These black people are saying that we want our proper share of what the president in the sense of an heir, but most importantly, we want the world to know that this President Thomas Jefferson was our father. Bear in mind now that Thomas Jefferson, the third president of the United States, died in 1826. Back here in 2001, they went to the cemetery and exhumed his body from the ground. When they got his body up out of the ground, there was something about that body. The hair had rotted, the legs had gone back to the dust. No more liver, no more spleen, no more eyes, just a shell. Nothing but the skeleton of the man of Thomas Jefferson was in that grave. But they found DNA, and when they got that little piece of DNA, they took it to the laboratory and tested that blood, and they came up with the conclusion that President Thomas Jefferson is the father of those children. Think about it. Thomas Jefferson died in 1826, and in 2001 they pulled his body out of the ground. That is 175 years after he died. I'm only trying to tell you that if there could be power in the blood after 175 years, if there could be power in the human blood after 175 years, what do you think about the blood of Jesus? The power in the blood. What can wash? Lord, help me to preach. What can wash away my sins? Nothing but the blood